Hey everyone, don't get anxious, get prepared. Your career engineers with you right here. And this is for our February edition of Ask the Career Engineer. And in this time that we're together, I will be taking any live questions that comes in, but I do have my list of questions submit to me by email or text or on anything else that we've done so that I can really give you guys some great information to kick off this month, whether you're an employee, employer, or entrepreneur. So, hey, and whatever platform you're enjoying this on, make sure you subscribe, you follow us. Definitely, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you'll never miss any spontaneous broadcast I might do, because sometimes it be like that. All right. So again, thank you for being here. We have ways that you can be a part of us. If you have a question that you'd like to submit for when I do this next month, I always do it the first Mondays. Go ahead and send it to me, info@tcenow.com. I love your questions. They're wonderful and they give me some stuff to keep it real and relevant for you guys, okay? And remember, at Career Engineer, we're just about everywhere at Career Engineer, TikTok and Twitter and Snap, well, all those places, those places right here. So let's get into it. I want to make sure we keep this to about 15 minutes or so because, it's Monday and I want you guys to have a fabulous one. But before I go there, subscribe. We have some amazing news that comes out on Fridays. We call these TCE Friday Career Business Updates. If you're not getting it, you should. It's free to get. Just subscribe. We also send you a free gift too. But the information, I'm going to hit some of the news that came out last Friday. So don't wait till the news after. Get your news now and be a part of this. So go ahead and subscribe and we appreciate it. So here's what's up with the news. I'm sure you all heard it. 8:30, our news goes out at 8:30.25, right? We wait for the BLS numbers to come out. Over 500,000 jobs were added last month. 500,000, in case y'all didn't get that, like 500,000 new jobs in 1 month. So that's encouraging. It has baffled every labor market analyst or economics professor on the planet, because how can you have this go up and you have this go up and stuff ain't going down, right? Inflation and all of its impact on our gross national product, the employment numbers, all those things. But we haven't seen this in decades. This is amazing. So it's good news. So anyone that's in the market and you're looking to get when we do this next month and you're trying to get to those employers, be encouraged. 500,000 people got hired and we've got the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. I've always told you, when you're at 5% unemployment, that's full employment, which means if you want a job, you can get a job. I know it's about the quality and of jobs in the industries. I get it. But 3.4% unemployment rate, that's unheard of. Haven't seen it since the men landed on the moon. Okay, so this is all good news for anyone that's looking to change or move. So to my employees, it's good news. To my employers, I know some of you are struggling with getting talent, but it just means there's some things you can do. And maybe if you have questions about that, I'd love to answer it too, to keep your talent and to get talent. Okay, but to the employer, 500,000 people said yes. That's a good thing. And to my entrepreneurs, of course, you've got to have people with money to buy your products, or your services. So when there's good news in the labor market, it's good news for you too, right? So let me hit the first question that was given to me a while ago, again, about job search. And I got this question last month, right? So we're in the winter of our season. So the thing was about crickets and radio silence. Why are they hearing that? They said, this is what they said. They've been putting things out there, okay, to the markets that are of interest to them. They update their resumes or update their profiles, but they're hearing nothing. So my question was this: well, in your nothing, have you heard no? And they said they've heard nothing, right? So crickets and silence is okay. It happens, right? Employers can tell you quick, fast, in a hurry that you are an NO. So if you're in like purgatory, you have this great space, you haven't heard anything, that's okay. Keep pressing. And what I would warn people about, because I know a lot of you will do this, well, I put out 10 applications or 10 contacts, or I've uploaded 10 things to Indeed or ZipRecruiter or whatever method of job search that's working for you or not working for you. A lot of you are using things that's not working for you, but I digress. I would say before you go and change it all over again, 10, you've only applied for 10. That's not enough data. You have no data. And the really reason you have no data, like you haven't even heard a no or a yes. You've heard nothing. So it doesn't mean the employers are not. So let me back up. So in the winter times, a lot of times employers are getting their, we just had the last of the fourth quarters. People are looking at their numbers. They've got some things in the pipeline. As you all know, next month, the spring of our season, is when you start seeing more job postings. But based on the data I showed you a moment ago, 500,000, right? So things, and that was, that was last month's thing. Things are looking up. So I would say, increase your accomplishment driven job search, not just anywhere and everywhere, because a lot of you are doing that too. So you get nothing. But get the focus of, if you're doing 10, triple that in 30 days. I'm big on the 30-day number. I need to get that data quick. So I'd like to see 100 contacts at least in a month. Okay, you can't do 100, but you should be able to. Give me 50, but you got to do data. 10 in a month is not a job search. It's not enough data. So clarify where you're sending it, up your action, because some of you are just kind of doing it in between. I don't know, Judge Judy, right? So those of you that watch Judge Judy, okay, so you need to really have that 40-hour a week job search gain. Do that significantly for 30 days, then let's see what the data says. And if something needs to be changed or altered, we'll think about it. But it also depends. There's so many more questions to the silence. But my thing is, if you haven't heard no, keep going. All right, keep going. That's the way I feel about it. But that was an excellent question. So with that being said, like I said, it's the winter. It's not uncommon in December and January, maybe even February, for it to be cold. But it's going to start blooming in spring. What you don't want to do is wait till it's to the competition. Everybody's out there. March, April, May, then start your job search. I would say put stuff in there now. Maybe you're in the pipeline and folks just haven't, they're just taking their time and seeing what's going on. A big thing to be aware of, all you job seekers, come May, you get a fresh dose of talent that may work 50% cheaper than you. So please don't start your job search April and May when all them college graduates, and congrats to the college graduates, but they're going to flood the market real soon. So you really want to, whatever you've done in the January or the February, if you heard NO, I get it. But if you haven't heard anything, that's actually okay. Nothing is nothing, right? But keep it going. All right. So again, you're watching, I'm your career engineer. Did I say that earlier? I don't think I did, but welcome to our first Mondays. We do our Ask the Career Engineer segment right here on all the platforms that we're streaming on. You're welcome to ask a question in the chat, but I have folks that have submitted questions to me and I'm like, that's a great question for our Ask the Career Engineer Q&A happening right near for my employees, my employers, and entrepreneurs. So here we go. It's another question almost regarding of this for folks who are putting things out there in December or January. Should I change my resume again? I'm hearing nothing. So I echo what I said a moment ago. With the resumes particularly, the other one was about job search. Resumes don't get you a job. I need people to really get that, because I've seen resumes come across my desktop. They're so loaded with tons and tons of content in little font, squeezing everything you ever did into a piece of paper, and it's overwhelming. So I'm not a big fan on that squeeze. But you're doing your resume because someone told you the resume gets you a job, and it's not designed for that. It never was. It's supposed to get you a meeting. It's a brochure of who you are and what you bring, right? And you got to decide the relevant information, because you need to decide where you want this brochure, this blueprint, this map, where you have where you want to contribute. Okay. And you got to have a realistic goal with this. I'd love to be a rocket scientist. I'm all about NASA. Have you guys noticed I'm all about the moon and all that? However, I've got some great transferable skills, but I truly doubt NASA's going to hire me as a rocket scientist. No matter how much I want to do it, it ain't going to work. I can't fly. Well, I can't see. I think I can fly, but I don't think I see too well, right? And let's just face it, I wasn't good in high functioning math in school, and I'm all right with that. But still, I have relevant skills. I have contributions I've made in my past, things I like to do now, and somehow find this wonderful mixture where my gifts and my talents and my interests can be in one great space, or a couple of spaces, not 10, but a couple of spaces where I feel like I can contribute. That's called a wonderful Monday morning. So your resume, hopefully, is showing your contributions and helping you to get to where you want to contribute. Keyword: where do you want to contribute? Where do you want to work? You can't be Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Like I said, I want to be rocket scientist. I'm better working, right, in what I'm doing now. Let's face it, okay? So I want you to dream, but I also want you to think. We got to do both, right? So should you change it because you've heard nothing? It depends on how it's designed. It depends on where you're sending it. And again, nothing didn't say no, right? And as we said, this is the winter of our job search. Folks are waking up now. I'm seeing posts coming out, and a lot of times you could be in the pipeline for them to, when they start posting in about 30 days, like, there you go, we've got someone here. So unless you've heard a solid no, or you're putting that document in places it should not go because your contributions are not aligning with what they're looking for, okay, or is not aligning with at least the gist of what they're looking for, that's the only time I would change things. But you got to have more data. You got to, I mean, hearing nothing is not the same thing as hearing no. If you send it out and you hear no, 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 then I'm going to suggest two things. The market is wrong that you're sending it to, or the resume you're sending out is not acting as your best advocate. But there's so much more to it, and I'm giving only general information. I hope that was great. Again, you're watching the Career Engineer. That's me right here. We're doing our February Ask the Career Engineer. We do this the first Monday of the month to take your live questions. You can watch us live or later, but whichever platform you're watching us on, feel free to subscribe and do all that kind of good stuff if you'd like. Okay. A third question I got, which was in reference to kind of what's happening, right? I mean, it's happened. 70,000 jobs have been lost. When I last checked the stats, maybe last week in the tech center, and I talked about this actually on the television segment of our lifestyle show here in my area this morning, because I've had people in tech. You guys went back to training. There was lots of COVID I can't even get to right COVID workforce money that went into retraining, and tech was like the hero of everything when we were going through that global trauma. And a lot of you transitioned to some area of tech that was tied into the way tech was really making its money, in those years. Well, some things are just wisdom. What goes up does come down. It does. So there are some of you that were part of how tech made its money in the last 3, 4, or 5 years, and that has changed because the economy has had some challenges, right? Inflation and this, that, and the other. So you've lost your jobs. Okay. But I will say to you, as I shared earlier, we have the lowest unemployment rate right now. So you've got this new skill, maybe that you went back to school for, or a certification for, or something like that. You still have the skill, and you can still combine that with what you have done in the past as well. But there are some tech companies that are hiring that have not, just like anything else, you got to look at the economics of a company. You got to look at its business plan. I mean, if some companies in tech are, let's just think of, everybody's talking about the new AI stuff coming out now. I was having this conversation about the AI that can write stuff for you and can do this for you and can do everything. Well, is that going to replace certain people in certain companies or certain jobs? It might. I mean, I don't know. We're all watching. We're all in awe right now, but you better be awe carefully, because that new thing that can write a book for you by just giving the title might have an impact on the publishing company. I don't know, but you got to pay attention to tech is great, but you also have to think bigger. How does this tech impact what I'm doing 5 years from now, today, 10 years from now? The work I do, will it still be relevant? I mean, you got to think about this. So tech will do this. But all of you tech geniuses, well, now you've got the tech skill, but you also have your previous skills, and the market is out there. So, if we had a low unemployment number, like if we didn't have 500,000 people get jobs last month, I'd say something else. But right now, I think the market is good. You still can get out there, include those new skills that you have, but be strategic in your job search. Think about where you truly want to contribute, and you got to do your homework here. I mean, don't land to another tech company or another company that's about ready to fall apart because of some new innovation or due to economic challenges that they weren't ready for. Okay. So listen, again, thank you for joining us, watching us live or later. Remember, you can subscribe, you can follow us, you can comment, and you can comment even after this. I will check the comments, and the question I might answer right away, or it might be a good question for next month, right? It might be a good question for next month. So again, make sure you find us everywhere. TCE Now right here is how you can catch us, tcenow.com. I look forward to bringing you the latest and the greatest career, life, and business news that can help you to love your Monday mornings again. All right. So thank y'all so much for being a part of us. Remember, don't get anxious, get prepared. I look forward to seeing you next first Monday right here for Ask the Career Engineer for March. Y'all be blessed and don't get anxious. Get prepared. See you next time.